G'day and welcome back to the channel, Headlight Restoration Perth. And today we are working on a 2012 Hyundai Veloster. I've always liked the design of these when I'm driving around and I see them, but I've never sat in one, but today I did, and I had to move it, and it's a little bit tight, a little, little low on the roof and everything, but a good little car. But yeah, so I'm glad I got to sit in it, so now I can put that away. I won't worry about getting one of them, but yeah, good car. So anyway, as you can see, I started off with the 320. I haven't done one of these before. I have done Hyundais and everything, a bit like a Toyota and that, but now that I've done it. But at the time, I wasn't really sure what I was going to get myself into, and if it was going to be a bit of a difficult clear to get off and that, but I thought I'd just start straight out with the 320, and it worked its magic. Got through that layer pretty easy, really. So there is a really, right there, there's quite a prominent curve. It's exactly where the light here, like, because it's a pretty large headlight, so, and you can see it was all breaking right along that. That's where the main curve of the lens is. So you can imagine that's going to be where the sun's going to be cracking right on that edge, So, and that's where it started breaking up first. So I wasn't really sure if the rest of it was going to come off easy, or if it was going to take a little bit more effort. But that being said, I just wanted to start with the 320 and just have a go at that. So with the grits that I use, anything up to 500, I'm going to also do a wet and dry on the same grit, just for a segue into the next, because from the 320 I will move into the 400, but when you're doing the 320 like this and then you hit it with the water, that 320 really does soften the bite, and it's a really nice smooth transition into that 400 dry. So this is something that I've picked up from Broward Headlight Restoration. We're on the other side of the world, but like, I'm in Western Australia, he's in the east coast of the USA. So, but what works, so getting some good tips from all the people that I look at with their channels and that. So if you've got a channel and I haven't subscribed or anything, and you're seeing this, drop your link in the comments so I can have a look at your channel, because more than likely I'll definitely subscribe to your channel and see how you do things, because there's many ways to do this as I'm learning. So, and I'm doing this bit by hand, because right on the edges, it's just, I don't know, I just like that the hand method, just right along that the edge of the light, right near the panel, because I can just be more confident when I'm just running my thumb along the paper, right along that edge, rather than right on the edge using the backing plate, because I do it to an extent, not necessarily very heavily, but I do get a little bit of a bite. But with the hand, I like to just be more concentrated, because if I'm using the drill and I'm doing it, and it gets that bite, you know, I can't afford for it to just rip through any tape or anything like that. And as you can see there with that tape, I do 3 layers right on the very edge of the light, and then I'll do another coming out, so I'll get a good 3 inches, so to speak. But yeah, right along the very edge of the headlight is 3 layers of tape, and I like to always put the bonnet up, because then that's one edge you don't have to worry about. You can hit it easily with the drill, and you do not have to worry about scratching the bonnet, you know, so it saves tape, saves time, saves stress, so why not? So if you don't do that, and you didn't think of it that way, definitely give that a go, because it's just, you know, it's just a safer way to go, especially because a lot of the times the top part of that headlight, you know, it doesn't look like it there, but you know, that's a good 12 to 18 inches long, that right along that very edge. So so definitely worth it in this case. You know, so just hit it with the wet there, and now I'm going to go up to the 400, and we'll start it all over again. So like I say, I'll go over this, I will hit it with the wet, and because this is the last one where I will be using the water before I'm sort of like get to that finishing with the trizact 3000 pad, what I do is, because like I say, I do the 320, use the water, then go to the 400, use the water, and now after the water on the 400, I will use the gimbal and do it by hand as well, just to get rid of those swirls and look for all those horizontal lines, and so I can then just proceed along with my next grip, which is the 600. I did look for the 500 in the paper that I use. I use a ceramic grain that my supplier, they do the 240, 320, 400, 600, 800 and 1200 in the ceramic. And I was doing a bit of research with the ceramic and the aluminium oxide. There's a lot of sandpaper out there, the aluminium, 3M's one of them as well. So I did a bit of research, and I did find that the ceramic grain is known to be a little bit more durable than the aluminium. So I wasn't aware of that at the time, but so I was pretty happy to find that out. And I'm not sure if it's the way it is or whatever, but when you're sanding with the ceramic, it actually, I'm not sure how it works, but it does have a self-sharpening process going through it. So I think that's part of the durability as well, you know, so it must be a little bit harder, but it's doesn't really damage it any worse than the aluminium. But it just definitely lasts a little longer. And what I do also is when I'm dry sanding, I can just get that little blower and blow that paper, and it really does release a lot of the dust, you know. So I think that's something to be said about the quality of the sandpaper as well. So yeah, so it does last a little bit longer. And as you can see now, because I'm doing that 400, which is the last one of the wet and dry, I will be using the gimbal and just go over and just get all the swirls and everything out the best I can, and just form those horizontal or vertical lines as long as it's not circular, and yeah, and get it all prepped ready for the 600 grade. So And it's always important, like car owners and all that sort of stuff, and when you're doing the jobs, you know, you can pass on the information and everything, you know, because you're the professional, you're the expert, and when they ask a question, they really do think you know your stuff and look for answers, you know. So it's always important to look after your headlights, because like the poorly maintained headlights can cause glare and reduce visibility on the road for all the drivers, you know. So, and at the same time, it will increase the risk of crashing, you know. So maintaining that clear lens ensures safety for both you and the other road users, you know. So you should definitely, after you've done someone's lights, you know, they ask about a maintenance program, you know, you say, well, you don't do anything with it for a bit, you let it cure properly and everything. But if you were to just run that plastic polish over it every 3 to 4 months, you know, the lifetime of that clear lens could definitely double if you know, if you're in that not so harsh climate, let's say, but you know, just the everyday climate where everyone deals with. But you know, I know there's a lot of places around that have a lot harsher climates, and you know, some people go through the car washes with all the brushes and everything, so yeah, you can't be held responsible for that, but you can tell them that it really is a big factor when you're going through car washes and that. So if you do go through a car wash, go through the contact-free ones, you know, the ones that have all the arms, the sprays, the soaps, but do not physically touch your car. It's just the water and the soap that does, no brushes, no nothing. So if you've got one of them around, definitely recommend that to them. You know, so from the 400, I just went to the 6 and got that, getting that nice haze going over it now. So it's just a nice even look. And what I'm going over it now is, this will be the last paper. This is the 800. So from here, I will, because it's the last paper that I'm using, you know, if you're doing a really a light that needed a lot of work and you were going through the grits all the way up to even, you know, like the 1200, 15, 2000s, you know, it's the last of the paper is when you use the gimbal. So as this is going to be the last sandpaper that I use, I'm just going to be using this gimbal now just to get all the horizontal lines back and prep it properly for the 3M trizact polishing pad, which you do wet and dry. You use with the water. So, but you know, this is one of the last sanding processes where you get it all the light the way you want it. You know, prep it. You know, that proper preparation promotes perfect presentation. The 5 P's. So, and don't be afraid if it's not the way you like it when you've done the trizact. You know, look back and do it again. Do whatever it is. You might have to go over it with the 800 and just to get a couple of the lines out, whatever it takes. You know, because once you've got that clear on it, you don't have that opportunity to keep doing that. So after this process, this is when you really want to have a bit of a look and make sure everything that you're doing is the way you really want it to be, and you're happy, and you get a bit of an idea after you've done a few. Like I'm starting to sort of like get the idea of the end result when I'm after I've done that trizact pad, like what I'm expecting. And so I'm finding any blemishes and all that, and I'll go back, because I'd rather go back at this point rather than when it's too late and you can't go back. So take your time. If you have to do another little bit, do another little bit. Take an extra minute, It's all good. So after you do that trizact and the water's still on there, you just put any good solid window cleaner on it, and that will bring out a lot of the little dust particles and everything out of the lines and the little grooves and everything from that 800 grit, and the trizact. So then you go back around to dry everything off, because you're going to get prepped for the polishing. And with the polishing, I do use that 3M Finesse orange pad. That pad's just about had it, so I've probably got maybe another light in it after this one. But yeah. So with that Plastex, you just dab that on, and I just continually dab it now until it's sort of like that lens has absorbed it. I just believe that gives me a lot better polishing process, because I used to polish now when it would still have it like right on the surface, and I would have to polish it for a whole lot longer just to push in that polish and everything. But I found just by dabbing it, that extra minute or so, it pushes it in the lens, re-moistens it, and you use a whole lot less battery on your little pistol grip buffer in the process as well, so you do save battery, and you get the same result, and I believe you get it a little quicker. So I just wipe that extra residue off, go at it again, and because it is drying, and some of the polish is drying on the pad when you're going through, it does leave sometimes like a really fine dust. So what I have adopted doing is I tend to use the buffer and my little blower at the same time, so the polish particles come off super easy, so, and you don't have to again touch it with the cloth, so it is just that bare polish. So as you can see there, I've got that Maguire's Keep Clear, do around the edges, multi-directional to make sure I've got that good clear finish, one good coat, and it come up alright. So I'll see you on the next one.